Welcome, ladies and gents. Welcome to the beginning of the week, technical analysis, guys. As always, let me give a quick disclaimer before I get started. This is not financial advice. Anything that I share during this analysis is for educational purposes only. I repeat, this is in no way financial advice. Any and everything that I share during this analysis is for educational purposes only. Cool beans? Cool beans. Well, let's jump into it. Um, I told you guys, um, let me share my screen. All righty. So, starting out with the dollar, as always, we always start out with the dollar because we use the dollar to gauge the other assets that we trade. So, looking at the dollar and thinking back to the last analysis that I did, I told you guys that we was waiting for DXY to break to either the upside of this daily fair value gap, right? Or we was waiting for it to break to the downside of that fair value gap, right? And last week we seen price for the most part. It gave us this one close Tuesday, right? And then Friday, we immediately came back down inside of that fair value gap. And then Thursday, we closed below it, right? We pushed down, closed below it. And Friday was a bearish day as well, reaching down into this imbalance, right? So now, moving forward, what do I want to see for the dollar? Well, to start out this week, I would like to see us stay below this daily fair value gap that we just extended below, right? See, we extended Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of last week to the downside inside this imbalance. Now, if the dollar is going to continue lower, right, to run these fairly equal lows here that we see at this swing low from April the 9th, then we shouldn't get back above this daily fair value gap. Price has no reason to break and close above that daily fair value gap if we are indeed targeting this sell side liquidity, right? And so what I'll be watching up into the midweek um time frame is that we do not break and close back above this fair value gap, daily fair value gap. Specifically this specifically the consequent encroachment of the daily fair value gap, which is the 50% mark of that fair value gap, which would be that yellow line in the middle, right? We don't want to see price break and close above consequent encroachment of the daily fair value gap. Now, I would love to see it respect the lower end of that daily fair value gap. That would be twice as bullish. I'm sorry, twice as bearish to the downside if price respect the lower end of that fair value. But that's what I'm at. That's what I'm anticipating. That's what I'm predicting for the dollar. You know, we used to have a thing. I used to have a saying to say I don't predict the markets, I roll with the markets. But in all actuality, that's technically what I'm doing, predicting the markets. But I like the way it sounds. So, hey, that was my thing. But moving forward, I do want to see price reach down and fill in this imbalance. I would like to see price deliver efficiently down into this imbalance. And I want to see a candle close up this gap, right? I don't want to see it wick and close. I want to see a candle body through this gap and close that up, fill that in, and then we'll see what price wants to do from there. However, we always have a if this then that situation when it comes to price. So if we do break above this daily fair value gap, then I will be anticipating price to push up. I will be anticipating price to push up through this liquidity void, right? Because I wanted to see that last week, but we only came to the lower end of that liquidity void. We did not fill it in, right? So if we do hold the current level that we're at and we break and close back above the daily fair value gap, then I absolutely expect price to fill in this liquidity void. And if we don't, if we respect consequent encroachment or the lower level of that daily fair value gap, then I absolutely expect price to be delivered efficiently down to and through this imbalance that we see in price here. Cool beans? Cool beans. Let's keep it pushing. Moving right along to currencies, we know that the currencies that we trade on this channel, we know that they inversely correlate with the dollar, right? Meaning that they move in the opposite direction that the dollar moves. So if I'm ultimately, um, if my bias is to the downside for the dollar this week, right? Then that means my bias is to the upside for the currencies that we trade, which is EU, GU, and NU, right? So looking at EU, right? It's okay if we pull back down inside of this fair value gap that we see here, daily fair value gap, right? As long as we respect that and don't push below it and close below it, I expect price to be delivered efficiently through to and through this fair value gap or this imbalance, should I say, that we see in price here for EU, right? And pretty much the same thing for GBP USD. I would like to see us run up to and through this fair value gap. And the same thing with NZD USD. I would like to see us run up to and through this imbalance that we see in price action. Cool beans, cool beans. Last but not least, for futures, I do expect us to run higher. Last week, I told you guys that um I wanted to see us pull back up into into this to see us pull up into this fair value gap right here. And I'm sorry about that, guys. Um, but yeah, I expect us to see price run up into the premium fair value gap. Not, I'm sorry, premium daily PD array level from April the 12th. Cool beans, cool beans. Um, yeah, we got price to run back up into Tuesday's premium. You see how we exploded through it Friday, right? I would have liked to see price pull back down into Friday's discount PD array today, but we did. So it look like price is going to run this liquidity here, right? Run up into these premium PD array levels, and then maybe give us a pullback down into Friday's discount P above um, these PD array levels here, then I expect us to run the weekly buy side liquidity to the upside for ES, right? Um, Same thing with NQ, right? We've already ran through the PD array, the first set of PD arrays for NQ. We got a second set up here, right? If we don't break and close back below these PD arrays here, this lower level PD array, then I expect us to continue to run to the upside to the higher level PD array. Cool beans? Cool beans. And that'll pretty much sum up the beginning of the week technical analysis. Um, If these analyses are adding any value to your career, to your journey, to your life whatsoever, make sure you like and share, and most of all, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It really helps out a lot. If you're interested in joining my paid Telegram group for the private group that we have on Telegram, please visit precisionpipsllc.com and sign up for the silver pack. With that being said, I'd like to thank all of you guys for coming out tonight, tuning in, getting this knowledge and empowering yourselves. Let your family and friends know you love them while they're still here, please. And as always, peace and love. You know